Hello, my friends. Hello, it's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. So happy you're here, and I'm so excited to be doing this video. You know, it's always nice when you subscribe to other channels and you watch what other people are doing, and there's so many great channels out there, music channels. And certainly in my case, I love the Beatles related channels, obviously, power pop related channels. But when someone does a video and it inspires you, it makes you think, wow, I got to check that out. Or maybe it's a piece of music I've never heard or I'm not too familiar with. Or maybe I have heard of it, but geez, I should dive into that more because I like what they were saying about it. Well, that's the case with this video, folks, because I was watching the great channel Two Legs with Andy Nichols and Tom Hunyadi, one of my channels I faithfully watch and subscribe to. And yeah, they do so many different things, and occasionally I'll comment if it's something that really sparks me, but I love watching the channel. I mean, all their videos are great, and I'll probably put the link below to their channel, their fabulous channel, so go check it out if you get a chance. But recently, not too long ago, I'm not sure how many weeks ago it was, but Andy and Tom were talking about a particular bootleg. Now, I had heard of this bootleg before, and I was familiar with many of the songs on it. I had heard most of the songs on it, but I didn't actually have it in one compilation, one tight place where I had it all, and I could really get into it and really, give my take on it. And that album is the great unreleased 1987 album from Paul McCartney, or if you want to call it the Great Lost Paul McCartney album, Return to Pepperland. Excuse me. Andy and Tom did a great video about this bootleg or fan-only unreleased Paul McCartney album, and I was so interested and so taken by what they were saying about it. I said, I'm going to do a quick video about it, and I'm going to seek out this album. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to see what they were talking about. Now, I'm not going to go into the detail or the details on the production and the recording dates and what this meant. Tom and Andy have that down pat. They did such a fabulous job with relaying the background story of this album, the history of each of the songs. So I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to give you a general overview, but then I'm just going to go through each song and give my thoughts on it like I'm reviewing an album, so to speak. Only in this case, I'm reviewing an unreleased Paul McCartney album called Return to Pepperland. Now, this fan club only release comes in a couple of different forms. I happen to have it in this form, which is a 2 CD set. There's also another set, I believe Andy had it in the video on Two Legs, where it's called Pizza and Fairy Tales. So there's different variations of this music. So all I can tell you is go to eBay or Etsy or one of those places, and you can probably pick this up as I did. And mine came in not too long ago. And I was very pleasantly, without letting everything out of the barn yet, let me just say I was pleasantly surprised with this compilation here of this material. Now, I'm just going to give a very general overview, nothing in the league of Tom and Andy. But this was an unreleased 1987 album, which was recorded, well, there's many different years, but generally it's kind of that period after Give My Regards to Broad Street and right before Flowers in the Dirt. So in the middle of that, Broad Street and Flowers in the Dirt, you did have the Press to Play era, which was 1986. And we all know, and some of us love that album, some of us don't. Let's not get into that. But so this is that kind of that period in the mid-'80s or so with Paul, when he was kind of in a transition period, coming off the great success of Tug of War in '82, and to some lesser extent Pipes of Peace in '83, and the hits he had with Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder during that era. So, he was kind of on a high, though, in the early '80s, I'd like to say. But then it seemed like in the mid-'80s he was floundering a little bit, and kind of maybe lost a little sense of direction. And again, you I'm sure have your opinion about that, everybody out there. But I really like the way Tom and Andy's take on it was that period. So make sure you watch their video to see how they felt about it. So I'm not sure how finished all this material is on this Great Lost Paul McCartney album, but all I can tell you is, in general, I enjoyed it. I'm going to go through each track and tell you my rating and my opinion of this release right here. Again, I'm happy to have it. I mean, I'm a Paul McCartney fan, so I mean, anything I can get from him that's something new or a little different, even though I was familiar with most of this material, there were a few nuggets on here that I had never really heard before, and they jumped out at me, and I was quite pleasantly surprised. So on my set here, the first track is called Lindiana. Now, I think this is a great song. I put a star by this one, and this is a very pleasant song. I like the melody on Lindiana. It's a good mid-tempo ballad, but it's very catchy. Great song. And again, as I rate these songs, folks, you're going by 80s, mid-80s production or, demo production or run-through production on many of these songs. I'm trying to look at them as I rate them. I'm looking at them from a perspective of how could this sound if it had been fully produced, or if it wasn't produced so 80s, was produced in a more contemporary style, how would the song be? So that's how I'm rating these songs. So Lindiana, yeah, I mean, I would like to see maybe a little different production on this, maybe a few things added, maybe a few things taken away, but overall, I think it's a very catchy, great song. I like Lindiana. Now, the second song is called I Love This House. I love this song. It has a nice groove. It has some synthesizer-type drums on it. I wish the drums could be changed to more modern, natural-sounding percussion and drums. But again, I want to rate it as a song, as a musical piece, what its potential is. And I think I Love This House is a great, catchy groove-type song. I think you're going to like it if you get this and listen to it. Now, the third track is another thumbs up from me, so we're 3 for 3 so far. It's a early demo version of We Got Married, which in my, it showed up later on Flowers in the Dirt in 1989. But in my case, I've always loved We Got Married. I love it when I saw him do it live back in the old days, and I love it on the album Flowers in the Dirt. I just think it's a great track. We have an early demo of it here on Return to Pepperland, and I think it's fantastic. So, thumbs up. The next one's Beautiful Night. Now, you all are familiar with that song. It's a 1997 release on Flaming Pie. It's a classic. The album is a classic, Flaming Pie, but Beautiful Night, in my book, has always been a classic. And here we get an early 1987 version of it, which is very well done. I mean, it's just, demo-ish form here, but the nuts and bolts of the song, the foundation of it's here, and it's fantastic. I mean, we all know how it ended up on Flaming Pie. It's a classic Paul track. So another one, we're 4 for 4. Loveliest Thing comes next. Now, many of you, I'm sure, are very familiar with Loveliest Thing. It was a B-side to Figure of Eight. It's just, I love this song. I've always enjoyed Loveliest Thing. I've always thought it's a great, catchy pop song. It's just a very nice mood-inducing song, and I have nothing bad to say about it, and loved seeing it on this set. The next track is called Squid. Another thumbs up. Another star here. Okay, so we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Squid. We're 6 for 6 in the Matthew Street camp because I think this is a cool instrumental. I like it. Again, I go back to it's a nice groove. It's like 6 minutes plus long, so I'm sure if it was officially released, maybe they could edit it down a little bit and add or take away a few things and make it perfect. But as a piece, what I'm looking at it overall-wise, I like Squid. I think it's a great instrumental with a cool groove. Thumbs up. Now, the next one is Big Day. Another longer track. I don't like the production on this, but I can see this as being a great Paul rock song if it was done right, produced and mixed correctly, and they added maybe some more verses to it, or some verses. Is really not much here in the way of vocals or lyrics, etc. But if they added verses to this song, along with the chorus of Big Day, it's going to be a big day, it could. This is one of those potential songs that if it was done in a different manner, done correctly, it could be a beautiful rock song from Paul. But as it is, it's okay. I don't like the production on it, so that took it down a few notches for me. So I'm not giving that one a star or a thumbs up. The next one is this one. Now here we're getting an early demo version of this one on what I think is one of Paul's most classic songs. We all know how beautiful that song is on Flowers in the Dirt. We know it. We love it. Thumbs up from me. Great song. And in this form, nice to hear it in a demo form. I love it. This one. The next one's Love Come Tumbling Down. And it's the last song on disc 1 for me. It's B-side to Beautiful Night. And I see some potential with Love Come Tumbling Down. It's okay. I can't rate it on its potential. All I can say is here, as I'm seeing it here, and as I try to think about what it could be, I think it could be a much better song, but here it's okay. So that ends disc 1 on Return to Pepperland. And then I go to disc 2, which has some more tracks. Now, I'm going to say right off the top, disc 2 kind of is a step down for me a little bit. Okay, disc 1, I mean, out of the 9 tracks, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9 that I could say, yeah, I could get into these. Disc 2, that changes a little bit. You start out with Christian Bop, which I think it was used on one of the Pipes of Peace remastered disc, like in the mid-2000s, 2015 or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't remember it too much from that. And I know that I've read somewhere the melody was used in one of the songs on tracks on Liverpool Oratorio in '91. I'm not familiar with it. It's an instrumental, but it's nothing earth-shattering, Christian Bop. It's okay. And that's all I'll say about that. Next is Atlantic Ocean. Now, this one has a cool groove. I like it. It's a longer track. It could use a little better production. It's unfinished, obviously. I mean, if they could maybe add some more things to it. I do like the guitar on it, though, on Atlantic Ocean. I love the guitar, and I like the instrumentation overall on Atlantic Ocean. So I guess I'll give that one, you know what? I didn't have a star on it, but I'm going to put a star by it right now. Thumbs up on Atlantic Ocean. It's okay with me. The next one's called Love Mix. Thumbs up, star on this one. It kind of starts out with an Tears for Fears, everybody wants to rule the world kind of beat to it. But, then it changes on the verses and stuff, so it doesn't stay that beat. But that's what struck me at first about this one. And that's not a bad thing. I do like this track. It has a cool melody. It's a nice tune. I picture it done a little differently, get rid of some of that 80s production, but it's a great track. I like Love Mix. Now the next track, another thumbs up, star for me, Return to Pepperland, which is the title track of this. Call me nuts, but I love this track. It could have maybe been produced a little better for today, instead of that 80s kind of vibe it has right now on here. But trying to look beyond that, I think it's awesome. I still dig it. It's got that cool Paul classic melody to it. I like Return to Pepperland. P.S. Love Me Do. Well, that's all I'll say about P.S. Love Me Do. It's horrid. Horrible. What's another word I can use? I mean, it's El Stinko. What do you want me to say? This could be the worst thing Paul's ever put on wax or recorded on tape. Okay, I can't stand it. I've always hated P.S. Love Me Do, and I'm not going to start loving it now. Okay, that's all I'll say about it. The Same Love. I love the piano on This Same Love. Is it This Same Love? Did I write it down wrong? The Same Love. That's what it says here. I thought it might be this. The Same Love. Love the piano on it. It's a standard Paul ballad. It's okay, but it's nothing earth-shattering. Okay, it's an all right ballad, but not one of his best. And Don't Break. What's this? I can't even read my own Matthew Street writing. Don't Break the Promise. Man, us lefties, Don't Break the Promise. It's okay, mid-tempo pop tune. Paul sings some of the parts in his high falsetto voice. Very 80s sounding. Maybe if it was produced differently, it'd have a different take on it. But as it is right now, it's okay, So, out of the tracks, there's 2 more bonus tracks, though, on the way from the Last Resort TV show, 1987, in the UK, where he did Don't Get Around Much Anymore and Lordy Miss Claudie. Those 2 tracks are stuck on the end here as bonus tracks, and they're very poor quality sonically here. I have them in a much better quality on some other fan club only releases I have. But I do love that performance he did on that show, but I have it in better quality. Here, it's not in the best quality. So let me just say overall, disc 1 is a winner for me here because, like I said, out of the 9 tracks, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I really liked. But on disc 2, when you get to those from the actual album part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's maybe 2, 3 I have stars by. So out of 7, 3 of them I have a star. Atlantic Ocean, Love Mix, and Return to Pepperland. The rest, So that's my review on Return to Pepperland. And overall, I think this is worth having if you're a Paul McCartney fan, a Beatles fan. Yes, you want this. You want to hear this. You want to have it in your collection. If you're not a big fan of Paul and the Beatles, not essential. Okay? I'm happy I have it, though, and I want to thank Tom and Andy for highlighting this little release because it sparked me to order this, get it, and talk about it a little bit, which I've done. So that's my review of it, folks. If you're a Paul fan, recommended, definitely worth a listen. If you're not, don't need it. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Just a quick little Paul review for you, and I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a good week so far. I'm not, because I have to work a lot this week, and that's a bummer, But anyway, I love being here for all of you. Love hearing from you. Take care. Peace and love, baby. That's all that matters.